Okay, I'm going to talk to you today about the land alien holding license a little bit here because some people get really confused on this. If you're going to be buying a property in St. Kitts, you need to really consider the land alien holding license fee because there's very few places that you can buy in St. Kitts if you're not a citizen of St. Kitts, and where if you don't buy, let's say in Frigate Bay, because Frigate Bay you don't have any land alien holding license, or if you stick with the citizenship zone, you know, you can avoid the land alien holding license for that. Most of those are, most of them are in Frigate Bay, but some are outside the Federation. You can avoid it that way too. And this is another reason why I tell people, you buy a property, even if you don't get it for citizenship purposes, you should be buying it in the citizenship zones so you can avoid that land alien holding license fee of 10%. That's a lot. You know, $400,000, that's $40,000 you save on that license. Plus, you got to remember, you can resell to someone else that's getting citizenship, and I'm going to tell you, it makes a big difference. I've told people before in other videos that we did a scenario back in 2014, and for every property that's bought not for citizenship purposes back in 2014, there were 50 properties that were sold for citizenship. That was the ratio. Now what it is today, I don't know, but I can tell you it's still skewed in that direction. And that's why I tell people, if you buying properties, buy in the citizenship zones, you avoid the land alien holding license. Even if you're not getting citizenship, you're just buying the property, just stick in the citizenship zones, or buy in Frigate Bay, okay? Because there are houses you can buy in Frigate Bay that are not in the citizenship zones, and you avoid that 10% land alien holding license fee. But that's a lot, because remember, that's on top of the stamp duty. And the land alien holding license is when you're actually buying it, okay? The stamp duty is when you sell the property, and that's 10%. Now you might say, well, Tom, that's a lot. I'm telling you how to get around it, okay? You can get around both the taxes if you want. If you look at my other videos, I've had other tips on how to do that, okay? One way to avoid the stamp duty is don't ever sell the property, just pass it down to your kids. There's no inheritance tax here. There's almost no fee. I think it's like $100. It's almost nothing to transfer the title over to your heirs when you die. That way you almost pay no holding cost at all. The property tax is only 0.20% of whatever you're purchasing with a $29,600 US exclusion. Folks, that's 12 to 15 times less than property tax that you're going to pay in New Jersey. And these are things that you need to be looking at. I'm showing you ways that you can get around high taxes, the land alien holding license, the stamp duty. The property tax is almost zero. St. Kitts really does have great ways to get around high taxes, but you got to know how to do it. Okay, you need to know ahead of time. We can also show you on equities, when you buy equities, how to avoid any sort of taxes on those. Now, one problem though is, remember, if you're a U.S. citizen, or if you're a resident of another high tax country that taxes worldwide income to its residents, everything I'm telling you, you're going to have to take that into consideration, because you're going to be taxed on your worldwide income if you're a U.S. citizen. And if you've made a profit, okay, down here, you can weigh whatever you paid out in the stamp duty. If you sell your property against the tax you paid on the stamp duty, you'd have to get with your accountant to show you and work with you on that. But the point I'm trying to tell you, if you want to get around your taxes and get around a lot of complications in buying and selling and dealing with equities or properties or whatever, you're better off leaving your high tax country. If you're and you need to do enough to detax yourself, so you're gonna have to be away from that country long enough to legally do whatever it takes, and you might have to pay an exit tax if you're, depending on what country it is. If you're in the U.S., you're going to have to relinquish. Now, you can qualify for the foreign overseas exclusion, which now is $112,000 for husband, $112,000 for wife, which is roughly $224,000. You can take a deduction, and that goes up every year, but that does not go towards investment income. That's strictly earned income. You can do a lot more if you relinquish the foreign overseas exclusion. You can use that and not, give up your U.S. passport and still get your income taxes to zero. It just depends on what your income is and where it's coming from. Is it investment income or is it earned income? Okay, because that exclusion does not help you on investment income. It only helps you on earned income. All right, but these, I've seen so many people come down to St. Kitts and they don't understand this land alien holding license, and they buy outside of these areas and they get hit with a huge tax. It's very hard to recoup that. Okay, so you want to stick to the areas that I'm telling you about and how to do it if you're not going to get citizenship. If you get citizenship, you can buy anywhere, and the land alien holder license fee will not apply to you. Listen again, will not apply to you if you're a citizen or if you're from one of the Eastern Caribbean states that has a treaty with the U.S., with St. Kitts and Nevis, which exempts you from the tax. You still have to file the land alien holder license, but you don't have to pay the tax as of right now with the law it is right now. These are countries like St. Vincent, Grenada. They're all in the Eastern Caribbean Union of countries. So if you're from one of those countries, you can buy anywhere in St. Kitts or Nevis, and you can avoid the tax. You're still going to have to file the land alien holder license though. Okay. Also, folks, if you want to legally get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 45 days, do 3 things. Hit the subscribe button on the right of your screen. You get new videos automatically as they come out. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, just put it below. And number 3 is go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. All right, now, this area right here, just to give you an example, this is Half Moon Bay up on this hilltop. All of these houses have incredible views of the ocean. All right, now these are not titled properties. They are what's called deed of conveyance properties. All of them are. Which means that you own it. It's not it is freehold property, just like title property is freehold, but it doesn't qualify for the home program. Okay. So again, it's not a leasehold, it's freehold property, but again, it won't qualify for the home program. But the views are real nice, and you will not escape the land alien holder license fee of 10% unless you are a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. That's something you need to know, because I see people come down here, put a deposit down, sign a contract, all of a sudden they realize there's a fee that normally you would not have to pay if you just bought in another area like Frigate Bay, which is right next door. Okay, this is what happens to a lot of foreigners that come down. They'll actually buy in Frigate Bay because there is no land alien holder license. These are people that come down, foreigners that buy properties that are not applying for citizenship, and they want to avoid that 10% land alien holder license, so they will end up buying in Frigate Bay. So these are some things that you want to definitely remember. If I had to tell you the areas to stick to cost-wise, dollar for dollar, and I've told this to people many, many times, stick with Half Moon Bay or Frigate Bay. Now, obviously, if you want to avoid the land alien holder license, if you're not going to get citizenship, stick with Frigate Bay. But for your money, the views, the location close to the beaches, shopping, this is the place that you want to go. Do not go to the Southeast Peninsula. Make it third. It's more expensive. No amenities, no street lights, no grocery stores. You're going to have to go 8 to 12 miles just to get a loaf of bread. I'm going to tell you something. Old people don't want that. Most older people, and they're the ones that have money, okay, they want places that don't have a lot of stairs. They don't want to have to go to a place where you got to drive a long ways to get a loaf of bread, that don't have street lights. Now it is beautiful down there, but I'm going to tell you, it's harder to resell your property. I'm just telling you, you want to stick with, it's more costly to buy down there. It's the most expensive real estate. It should be cheaper than up here because you don't have the amenities. Eventually they will have a grocery store down there. They will have the amenities that you want, but I'm telling you, you're better off sticking in Frigate Bay. If you go beyond Frigate Bay to the northern part of the island, I'm telling you, you are making a big mistake. And I've seen people do this. They come down here in a rush. They do stupid things in a rush, and this is what happens. If you go to the southeast, if you go to the northern part of the island, you're going to find out there's almost no grocery stores out there unless you go to Sandy Point. And they're not going to have any big ones out there, and you don't have any nice beaches. It's just totally different, folks. I mean, I'm telling you, you come to St. Kitts. I just did a video on the differences between St. Kitts and Nevis. Look at that, and I'm not going to even go over that. I did that in the tape. And then when you narrow it down in St. Kitts, you take this video and you listen to it 3 or 4 times. And if you do that, you buy here, I think you'll be real satisfied on your choice. But I have so many people that just don't spend enough time really searching and knowing what to do and where to pick. But look at these views out here, man. This is nice. I mean, this is almost dark here right now. It's almost it's about 6:30 at night. So it's I don't have much time left here, but I wanted to go over this with you. And one thing too I want to tell you that's really nice about St. Kitts is the culture here. There are things I do like better here, okay, than the US. There's things I don't like, some things I do. One of them I do like. I grew up in North Carolina, and if you go out and you walk on a golf course like this, even if there's no one out here, okay, they'll come out and practically arrest you. I mean, it's a big no-no to be walking in a golf course in North Carolina, just walking. I mean, they just don't, I don't know where you grew up, but in North Carolina, USA, they don't like people walking on the golf course. You need to be playing golf. Here it's totally different. Unless they've got a golf tournament, and obviously, people playing golf and it's not a golf tournament, you need to be, stopping and watching where you're going, and you should be walking either early in the morning before golfers come out or when they leave. This place closes, I think, around 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon, so you can't come and play golf after that. But there's still people finishing up. Safely, I'd say after 5, 6 o'clock, you're never going to get hassles and stuff like that. That's one thing that's nice here. So if you're buying in this area, you can come down here, run, walk. And the government owns this partially, along with another wealthy individual. So, they got a lot of government workers that come over here, They actually drive their car over here to work out. And that's one thing that's neat. You're right here around the ocean, the golf course. I'm telling you, you won't regret buying in this area. Been here 15 years. It's the best place I've ever lived. Quiet, it's nice, great weather all year round. This is the place that you want to be looking for. Also, I've seen some really big fish coming out of this lake here. I've seen some 35, 40 pounders, people bringing them out, tarpon and all kinds of stuff. They come through these pipes and from the ocean, and then they grow up to be really big in here. And I would not eat them because of the fertilizer runoff, but I'm going to tell you, some of them are really big in here. The type of animals you see here, there's actually, you've got wild hogs, you've got a lot of monkeys. There's more monkeys here than they got people. And you got mongoose all over the place. They brought the mongoose over here to kill the snakes back in the 1700s, and now there's no snakes on the whole island. But there's mongoose all over the place. And they're basically scavengers, and you'll see them around running across the road real quick. They do have actually some deer on the south end of the island. It's rare you ever see them. They stay up usually up in the mountains, but all kinds of bird species here. But it's nice. You don't have the high rises and stuff. This is the thing I like, okay? And if you're looking for a place that's going to be, and I've told people this before, all they got to do is make a few changes here. It's already better than Singapore. As far as efficiency and stuff, you don't have the efficiency Singapore's got, but Singapore does have an income tax. They don't have an income tax here. You don't have the heat here that you do in Singapore. There's just so many other things I like here. Of course, this is freely elected government. They got an autocratic government in Singapore. It's real close to the US and Canada if you're going to be coming from those areas. So these are some things that I would strongly tell you to look for, because if you've got a family, my advice is if you got kids that are staying back in Canada or the US and you're going to move here, you should be closer to them. Makes life so much easier because you can get back home to where you came from really fast. So these are some things that I would tell you to look for. But again, if you're looking to establish a business, I've told people this before many times, go where you can get the citizenship and passport quick, and stick to countries that have no income tax, no capital gains tax, no estate tax, no inheritance tax. Quit looking at the difference in the donation option in 50,000 between, let's say, Dominica and St. Kitts, when Dominica has an income tax, okay? Same over with St. Lucia, okay? Both of them have actually a fairly high income tax locally. Why pay that when you don't have it here? Doesn't make sense, okay? And that's forever, okay? So that, to me, it's a no-brainer. And I can tell you too, if you go to Dominica and come here, there's no comparison in the lifestyle. The standard of living is so much better here by far. Anyway, if you want to learn more on this, again, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You get new videos as they come out automatically. And I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.